What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. Hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. It would appear that McDonald's is getting a case of the McFatigue as stores across the country are rolling out a time limit, saying that you can only stay in the store for so long. And look, I'm all for this, except for those old heads that are there at like 5 a.m. in the morning and they nurse a single cup of coffee until like 11. They should be allowed to stay as long as they want. If you have blue hair or you're a war veteran and you're there at McDonald's at 5 in the morning, I want you to be able to stay as long as you want. Once they're not in the dining room anymore, McDonald's will lose basically the last bit of charm that they ever had. But this article here, McHurry ditches dining in rules after launching, quote, insane time limit policy. Shoppers recently discovered the policy of why others have seen it for several years. Now, this is, of course, going to take place in, I'm guessing, more diverse areas. Plus, look, McDonald's shouldn't be a hangout. I get that. The same with like Starbucks. Like, I don't pay for internet, so I just go to Starbucks all day and use their internet. Like, that's not really what they're intended for, and there is limited seating. Although ever since the lockdowns, I haven't seen a McDonald's like full on the inside. I guess I really haven't looked, but I can't imagine they have a space issue. The no loitering signs have been spotted around several McDonald's locations while people are getting triggered on social media. No loitering, McDonald's customers only. Limit your visit to 30 minutes while consuming food and drink. Now, some people say that they're discovering these for the first time since 2025. No loitering, McDonald's customers only. One side read, according to Facebook post, limit your time to 30 minutes. Loitering, of course, we all know. I don't need this stupid website to define what loitering is. But a Facebook user who shared this back in February called the policy insane. If I pay for my food, I will take however long I please to eat it, the user wrote. No, I don't think that that's actually a reasonable reaction. If you went to a fine dining restaurant and you order dinner at 5 o'clock, the social norms, the actual rules around this, that's just what people who don't understand normal social norms. Like, imagine going to a restaurant 5 o'clock and then thinking, I'm going to sit here till 9 o'clock and screw this restaurant over so no one else can be seated. And the waiter and waitress, look, if you want a tip for the 4 tables that you overextended that they couldn't seat, by all means. That it was intended to target, the user theorized that it was intended to target the poor and the homeless people, adding that outrages me. First of all, being poor, poor people can't eat at McDonald's anymore. Who can afford, there was this article from just a few days ago that the breakfast item for an Egg McMuffin is $7.75. Who on earth is poor and can pay $7.75 for an Egg McMuffin that you could make at home for $1? Now, I know eggs are expensive, but we're talking about an egg, a piece of cheese, and an English muffin. Maybe we could say $1.50. Maybe $1.50. If you're paying $7.75, that is called a luxury purchase. That is a once in a while thing. McDonald's actually used to be a place that you could eat 3-4 times a week. Not that it was quote unquote healthy, but you could have, when extra value meals were $3 and I was younger and had a higher metabolism, I would go there on my lunch break all the time because you could get a quarter pounder, fries, and a drink for $3. And at that time, I was probably making $6.15 an hour. So for like 30 minutes work, I could eat the whole, be full all day long. This idea that, the meal deal for Egg McMuffin is $10.90. So no, this isn't targeting poor people. But this is targeting people that are giving them problems. I understand that, but these locations can sometimes get extra busy, and they may need space for their customers, but a couple extra people hanging around isn't going to make or break their business. Plus, most people use a drive-thru anyway. Now, this sign, another Reddit user discovered a similar sign back in June discussing a 30-minute time limit. The sign added, "The manager must enforce this rule. Your cooperation is appreciated." The social media user says that it was the second location they had been to where they saw a time limit. Again, this is about getting rid of annoying people. You know, here you see, look at the comments. No loitering sign is probably just posted to allow staff to kick out homeless people who stay there all day or something. I've loitered for about 2 hours in McDonald's and had a sign working on my laptop while sipping coffee, and they didn't care. They say, this is the reason. It's a giveaway to remove people actually harassing guests, homeless or not. We have had some great people who hung out all day long and actually helped keep it family friendly. Eventually hired a few of the regulars who were there all day, almost every day anyway. Again, it helps get rid of trouble without being like the he just don't like me situation. Yeah, I had to spend 7 hours in McDonald's earlier this year as a punishment for losing my fantasy softball league. Keep crushing cheeseburgers and keep it to myself. No one had a problem with that. Fantasy softball, that's odd. You know, again, here's the answer. Just don't be a problem and just use a dining room to eat. There are probably groups, here we go, of teenage kids who cause issues, and they are there for too long. They want the dining room to be family friendly, so they get rid of the issues. Probably a way to kick out teenagers who come in and buy one cheeseburger between 10 of them and torment the workers was a huge issue back when I worked there. It's still an issue. Teens come in and lurk around, just making a complete scene for a while before someone gets the nuts to chase them away. This is to remove homeless and teens. I don't know. I don't live in a big city, so we don't have like a homeless, a large group of homeless people here. But this is about youths. This is about teens. These are about, what are all the other words like the New York Post's? Granted, groups of teenagers of all races are generally annoying beyond belief, especially with the 6-7 nonsense going on right now. One social media claimed to be a manager said, they only ever enforce a policy if someone is panhandling or being a nuisance to other guests in the store. Some consumers theorize that the signs are meant for teenagers causing troubles. Well, of course it is. You want to get mad about it? Like, don't be a problem in the store, and here we have, look at this McDonald's manager, by the way. This McDonald's manager is sleeping on the counter, and the local community found it the perfect opportunity to get free meals. Let me tell you, this manager is not sleeping.
On Lindell, man. Check in. Look at my boy on the fries, cuz.
This guy's got money for a fake Louis Vuitton bag, but he can't pay for his fries.
Look at she over here drooling. Come on, baby girl. You the manager, man. You supposed to do better than this.
She's not sleeping. That is fentanyl. That's what I'm going to guess. The comments are also going to point out.
This shit crazy. Everybody just getting their free meals in, man. Teamwork make the dream work. She don't work here neither. I know that's right.
She's back there making her own fries.
We live at the McDonald's on Lindell, man.
Now, obviously here. Sleeping is a funny word for straight up overdosing on fent while at work. These animals don't belong. And, well, yikes, that's a pretty spicy comment. Here, Ronald McDonald be in jail and another one, McDonald's clown arrested in costume. If they did this while they were actually supposed to be working, everything would be fine. Only happy when they're stealing. They'll steal everything not nailed down. Look, do you really want to eat food prepared by these people? Well, they're not. I mean, they're definitely not. Yeah, maybe the manager shouldn't hit the fent before his shift. If I walked into that, I'd get my own dang food too. Wake up, Shantifa. They steal on the fries. That's not sleeping. That's a drug-induced coma. They're probably the ones that doped her up. Again, I disavow some of the spicier comments. But again, here's a McDonald's worker giving a customer. There's basically a McDonald's worker carrying a weapon and firing it through the drive-thru window during a McMess altercation. Employee was charged with tampering with evidence after the incident involving two customers who allegedly threatened to attack him. Now we have 3 high society individuals here. Judd said the worker Juan Soto, quote, politely told Nicholas Jones, 18, and Peter Story, 20, who had pulled through the drive-thru, hey, sorry guys, we're way behind. Our online orders are overwhelming us. He said after Soto told the two men that the store couldn't take their order, they allegedly started to threaten him, which I believe. We're going to hang out here, they allegedly said. When you get off, we're going to beat you up. They threatened to attack the man who had just told them we're busy. We can't take any more orders. And he did that because the managers told him to do so. They threatened to attack him. Soto told the man he didn't get off work till 4 a.m. and then he went back to work. What did these goober smoochers do? Judd continued, adding that Jones and Story then parked and entered the restaurant. They continued to threaten, he said. They're having a McArgument in the McDonald's. This is a cop saying this. Over at McHamburgers or a lack of McHamburgers, he said. Then Jones and Leslie said they had a switch, a 30 clip, and Soto replied that he also was armed. Again, of course, this is great. They continue to threaten a mass event there. This is all over hamburgers. This is over hamburgers. And then they end up having a shootout over hamburgers. These look like three real winners here. But again, over hamburgers, most people are like, hey, McDonald's is busy. I'll go across the street to Burger King. It's not like McDonald's is really offering anything, anything anyone else. This cop is like absolutely hilarious too.
Because there's a rabble afoot right now in McDonald's. We could call it a McRabble, and that's not a sandwich. So when they continue to threaten a mass shooting, because there's customers there with their firearms, he goes back and retrieves a gun out of his backpack. And he comes into the lobby to confront these guys who have threatened him and threatened the store and threatened to shoot the place up.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to get them out of the store. The store manager is saying, get out of here, you're trespassing. Well, Jones here, he thinks he's a lawyer, I guess. He says, nobody can trespass me from this McDonald's beside the McSheriff. Well, listen, the owners or managers can. So now he's trying to protect his manager, himself, from violence, the store, the customers. They're threatening to shoot up the place. And as they try to grab his gun, pulls the trigger. And he shoots Peter Story in the neck. It's a blessing that it was a very minor wound. But you know what? When you start shooting McGuns, you get people's attention.
Oh my God. Just stay out of McDonald's. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.